Welcome to MCG University. In this video, we will be discussing how to work with form settings. Form settings are a way for you as a user to configure your experience, whether it's documents, master data, or lists, in a way that fits you or fits your role within the organization. So the first example we're going to talk about, and I'll start with an item master list, is the list form settings. Now, the main thing about the list form settings is that these changes are reflected at a global level. Meaning if you make this change, then any other user that uses this list will also see the changes you made. Okay, so as an organization, you want to make sure that this is going to be a universal change. So if I can see that this list is set up here, I'm just listing a few items, a few pieces of information from the item master history or the item master data. And if I want to add any columns here, I can click on the form settings button icon at the top. And this will give me a chart listing the columns that are available. If I want to add a column here, I can merely go to the drop down, find the field that I'm looking for, and select it. If I want to insert at a point here and add a field, I just right click, add row, and select the field that I'm looking for. And here I have displayed names. So if I would want to see something different than what it shows, so BOM type, I would just, if I wanted to say something else, bill of materials type, I can do that. So it's clear to the user what that field represents. I'm going to go ahead and click on update here, and I will cancel out of the list, and I'll navigate back and just basically reopen that same list. You'll see now that the fields that I've added are now populated here. Another thing that you can use to help clean up the way that your list or form looks, you can go to View, Fit Column Width, and it'll fit the area that you have with the columns that you have with the right lengths to fit the appropriate screen. Another quick change that you can make is how you view this data. So this is an entire list, but if you wanted to group it, let's say by bill of materials type, you can click on the group checkbox, update that. Again, leave the list and go right back in, and you'll now see that this is grouped by the item you selected. Also, you can manually adjust the column width by just clicking and just dragging across. And of course, you can expand and contract those groupings as you see fit. That's the form settings at a list level. Now, if we wanted to look at it at, let's say, a document level, navigate to AR invoice, and we can look at the form. So again, we still have this icon available, form settings, but within documents, you can also right click on the header row and it'll give you the option to go into form settings. Here it's slightly different than the list view. We have fields that we can check off. All the fields that are available are here. You just merely have to choose which ones you want to see. So in this case, I want to add, let's say, serial number or factor. I can remove fields by taking them out, unchecking them. Let's just move a couple things around and click OK. So the changes have happened. They've moved over. I've moved the columns that I saw fit. And again, I can also use that fit to column width where it'll do the best it can to fit those fields in based on the data that's there. Now, another option in the form settings is that if I wanted to move columns around. So in this case, the barcode is after the item description, but let's say I wanted that barcode, so I can left click on it for about a second or two and it'll highlight white originally, and then as I move it, it makes it black, and then I can navigate it into wherever I want it to go. So in this case, I want to put it between the BP catalog number and the manufacturing number, and there it populated. So if I click OK, I can now see that it's over here. Another option within the settings is if I double click on a row, I can see what's called row details. Now, these are additional information. Also, can be some of the information can be in both places, but I can see that there's a lot more information available to me. In order to make changes there, I can go back into those same form settings and I can click on this row format tab. And if I want to add and remove things from here, I can do the same thing, make them visible, go back into that, and you'll see here that I've added these first two available here. Now these changes are user specific. So as I make these changes to a document, it doesn't affect anyone else in the system. But if I wanted to share my form settings across all my documents and forms, then I could navigate to Administration, Setup, General, Users. I could find the user that has the settings that I want to share, and I can click on Copy Form Settings and select the user that I'd like to share it with. 1 or 2 or 5, however many you choose. If you also had groups in the system, so if users belong to groups, you could also assign it to an entire group. Then I would just merely copy it and click OK, and those users would then get those same 4 settings. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to Michell Consulting Group and visit us at mitchellgroup.com for more information.